in that same order that the other party should appear this morning, 9 a.m. in court. It was clearly stated as just for spirit of fair play. Now, talking about live ammunition, I can state it categorically, authoritatively, that no live ammunition was fired today. Not a single live ammunition. It's very easy for people who are not familiar with the sounds to mistake the firing of tear gas for live ammunition. It makes the same popping sound, the explosion-like sound, but I can say it on good authority that no live ammunition was fired.
Are you sure that all of your police officers, because there are evidence and pellets that have been picked, and I guess after some time, those will be made available, that the live ammunition of these demonstrators who are unarmed?
Well, if you talk about tear gas canisters being picked on the floor, yes, I would agree. But I'm yet to see shots. But I'm also confirming again that there was no live ammunition.
Gas fired at the protesters. Why?
Oh, thank you very much. The court order stated it clearly that the protesters should not go anywhere around the areas I mentioned earlier. And these protesters made an approach. They wanted to go to these areas. And like I said, as a law enforcement agency, on Saturday, we made it clear that we're going to enforce this court order. We gave enough warning for these people to court order. We gave enough warning for these people to step back and not go beyond where they were, but they were adamant and they were going to approach these areas. And we just conformed to standard operating procedures. And we decided to use, in conformity with our SOP, to use minimal force that is commensurate with the resistance we are getting. And we used tear gas. That was the least that we could do. Nobody was harmed or injured, and were able to successfully achieve our mandate and disperse the protesters.
Because this is what Shore and some of the protesters claim. They say, quote, suddenly from nowhere they started shooting at us, tear gas, and some live bullets were fired. Luckily, I don't think anybody was hit with the live bullets, but they were just shooting all around. Why were the sporadic shooting? Because I imagine that there are very trained police officers who are trained on how to disarm or disperse people or stop people from encroaching into areas. If you said that you have
as you can see, I went to see my fellow comrades and colleagues that were arrested in the course of the protest to the police. Thereafter, I addressed the press. After addressing the press, some security men accosted me, took me out. The long and short is that after the interrogation, I was asked to leave. So I'm leaving, as you can see. So the struggle continues. Survival, struggle for freedom is not an easy task. There are some price. No problem.
In Nigeria, there are two different laws. One for the owners of Nigeria, and the other laws are for the Igbos who are not considered part of the one Nigerian contraption. This is what is happening to Prince Kanu, the younger brother of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that the federal government has said that the guy will be charged to court. Kanu younger brother would be charged to court because on the basis that he violated the court order and the court injunction not to protest in some certain areas. The Nigerian government is looking for everything possible to shut the protesters. Kanu has been held in incarceration for 5 years now, and the trial has always been back and forth. No clear signal that Mazi Kanu would be out anytime soon. And now that Kanu decided, Prince Kanu, the younger brother, decided to join the protest, we've seen all what the government is trying to cook a story just to jail the younger brother of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? For how long can we continue in this shenanigan called Nigeria? And this same Nigeria has been harboring bandits, negotiating with bandits, giving them free hand to do all whatsoever they want to do. But because Prince Kanu is an Igbo man, the law would always catch up with an Igbo man. That is what is happening. I don't need to be told. Let's not forget that the court gave an injunction, the federal court in Abuja gave an injunction that Prince Kanu, Omoleye Sowore, and Aloy Ejimako has the right to protest, but their protest is restricted to some particular area. The National Assembly, Aso Rock, and some places, as earlier mentioned in the court. But Prince Kanu, Omoleye Sowore, confined themselves to some places in Abuja, or what they went to Wuse Market, Akpo Market. But despite all this, with the clear evidence, the police came out and debunked that and say they violated the court law and must be charged to court. The police needs to come and tell us, when is it a crime in Nigerian space for people to come out and demonstrate a peaceful agitation, that crisis did not erupt, that it was even the police, as allegedly said, that was shooting at the protesters. I have always told you countless times, for some of you that don't believe me, that don't always believe in what I say, that one Nigeria would not work. Some people are just trying everything possible to keep Nigeria united. Because Nigeria of today belongs to some individuals, to some cabals. So anyone coming out to preach the gospel of division will be dealt with. Anyone coming to preach this issue of division will be dealt with. That is what is happening now. And you see that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is invitation, and now his younger brother Prince Kanu has joined him too. He will be charged to court, and sooner or later they will cook up a conspiracy, cook up lies that Prince Kanu is disrupting the peace in FCT. That's why I said there are laws in Nigeria meant for the original owners of Nigeria. And we know them. We see these people in the bush that the government are even going to negotiate with them. We see them on daily basis. We see these people on daily basis. And yet, nothing is being done to curb this shenanigan. But because Prince Kanu is an evil man, when it comes to an evil man, the law of Nigeria would always catch up with an evil man. The law of Nigeria would not be a standard because an evil man is involved in that case. That is the current happening in Nigeria, and that is the current case of Prince Kanu. Kanu has been in incarceration since 2021, and now you are still holding his brother again. How could they fear God? Because you want to uphold the law. But bandits who dey kpai people, dey collect ransom, take lives of people. Some governors, even the federal government, is negotiating, paying ransom to bandits. But because Kanu is an evil man, because Kanu is agitating for division, why bandits is not calling for division? That is the only reason why the bandits are enjoying everything that is currently happening today. That is the only reason. If not so, the government will not tell me that bandits, the Fulani militias bandits are not getting worse compared to what they claim or allege that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did. That is the current happening in Nigeria that we find ourselves today. That people who are doing the needful are being locked behind bars. What has Prince Kanu done? What has he done? That Kanu has that Prince Kanu should be charged to court. You did not spell out the riots to these people. You did not spell out the riots. Just because you want to silence people in Nigeria. You want to silence people in Nigeria. And that is only why you've taken it to arrest Prince Kanu. It's the only way. Because if that is not the only way, Prince Kanu should not be in detention. You are very quick to charge Prince Kanu to court. But when it comes to the issue of banditry, it will take years. No bandit has been arrested and convicted in Nigeria. Let them prove it to us. Because they are the owners of Nigeria. Because the bandits own Nigerians and own the contraptions of Nigeria. And yet, nothing has been done to them. It baffles me that at this point, we cannot speak the truth. People cannot come out and speak the truth. That is my major concern. That in a state called Nigeria, illegality is going on, and yet we pretend as if all is fine when all is not fine. Is it not the same crime Sunday Igboho committed? Treason, as alleged by the government, and now Sunday Igboho is free. Is it not the same crime El Zakizaki in Kaduna committed? But today, where is El Zakizaki? El Zakizaki. And El Zakizaki even fight Nigerian military men. He fight Nigerian military men. He fight them. But today, these men are free. But today, because Kanu is an evil man, there is always Igbophobia in Nigeria. And that is why Kanu is being held in detention. I can beat my chest and tell you that today, that if Kanu is from the Fulani extraction, Kanu for don't come up for that place where he dey. If Kanu is a Fulani man today, Kanu will not be in detention. But and then if Prince Kanu is a Fulani man today, Prince Kanu would not be arrested yesterday, and then the government will not charge him to court, this morning, because they are the true owners of Nigeria. And that is why the one and justice system would not work. When a region has been sidelined, when a region feels they are not part of the contraption called Nigeria, and you still forcefully want them to be part of this contraption. That is what is playing out. If by any standard, Kanu ought to have completed the jail term since 2021, when that the government has arrested Kanu, kidnapped Kanu, because that is not arrest. And even the Kenyan government gave an injunction that was unlawful extradition, and Kanu should be awarded with some amount, which the Kenyan court gave that injunction. Up to now, the federal government of Nigeria is yet to obey that court injunction. In the same Nigeria, a federal high court gave an injunction, give a verdict, that Kanu should be discharged, and yet the government refused that. But yes, keep on dragging Kanu's case, keep on dragging Kanu case for delayed parties. We know all this. We know the federal government does not want to release Kanu. Even when Kanu filed a no case submission, the federal government had to counter that. And now, Justice Omotosho is saying that Kanu should open his defense. After Justice Beta Nyako then has dragged the case for 4 years. That is the level of Nigerian judiciary. We know what they are doing. At every court, we know how much federal government spends to bring Mazi Kanu to court. At the expense of taxpayers' money. At the expense of tax money. Now, you've arrested Kanu since 2021. Now, Kanu brother too has been charged to court now. He's guilty too now. Is it the same treatment you want to give to Kanu, you want to give to Kanu younger brother? For how long would the Igbo man will be used as slave in this contraption called Nigeria? How long do they want to use the Igbo man as slave? Just because you want to sacrifice one Nigeria. And the one Nigeria has brought so pains, agony, sorrow in people's life. Go to Plateau, killings every day. Go to the north. Every meat and spinach of the country is not a savings because of what? Insecurity. And yet nobody is coming out to speak out. Yet Kanu is the major issue in Nigeria. Kanu is the problem. Kanu is the reason why there is unemployment in Nigeria. Kanu is the reason why the federal government has gone to IMF to borrow money. Kanu is the reason why bandits is going around killing people, buying people, and yet collecting ransom. For how long can we continue to deceive ourselves in this contraption called Nigeria? I have always maintained my stance that at this point, the best way is to balkanize the country. The best way is to balkanize the country. Let any region go, because things are falling apart that the center can no longer hold. The truth is finally out. Now that the Finnish government has declared the CDS of Nigeria, Musa, a terrorist now, what is the next phase of the lie? What lies can the government tell Nigerians? Now that Samonepa is no longer in the picture, because it has always been pictured that Samonepa is the cause of insurgency in Southeast, and now that insurgency has stopped in Southeast, and now that the Finnish government has vindicated Samonepa, that those sponsoring insecurity and terrorists in the country are those some persons in the military. Now, where would CDS Musa bury his shame? Because a group of people are saying we want to exit the country. because the Igbos are saying they are tired of the contraption called one Nigeria. That this one Nigeria, it will not work, and then it has never been working. It has been a country full of lies, propaganda, and shame. That has always been how it is from. So I am not surprised that the Finnish government has now come out to say CDS Musa is a terrorist for all the atrocities he has been, for all the atrocities he has committed, in disguise of pretending to keep one Nigeria. And that one Nigeria has caused a whole lot of catastrophe in the country. Just some days ago, a notorious bandit that was declared wanted was seen in Katsina State with top government officials going for